These things are so nice. Ooh. Wow, it's heavy. Bracket, some mounting hardware. Oh, came with the new bash guard. This motor is pretty, man. Looks beefy too. Some cables. Wow, it's heavy. 3 phase wires. And jack shaft will go on that side. So we got a bash guard. I'll leave the peeling for when we're actually ready to put that on. We got a cable for the main harness on the controller. So this is like the app and everything to get this thing installed and tuned up. I'll need to go online and check that out. So I think I'm gonna try to make some kind of a rig to hold the bike safely so I can flip it upside down and do the motor that way. First, let me get this battery disconnected so it's kind of not in the way. And I can't turn the bike upside down with this. It's really solid. It won't fall. Even if I'm wrenching really hard on this, on the frame of the motor, it's not gonna fall. And I don't have to worry about the fender getting wrecked. I'm gonna disconnect these phase wires. So now I'm gonna remove the mounting bolts on both sides. There's 2 on each side. Now, the primary chain conversion drive that I'm putting on the bike is this heavy hitter by Gritshift. And let's check out what's in the package. So it has a larger sprocket that goes on the jackshaft, and then the smaller one here that goes on the motor. And you can see it's labeled. One side says SURRON, the other side says eRide. You need to make sure that you have the alignment correct depending on the bike that you have, whether it's the eRide Pro or the SURRON. We'll just line up the notches right there. Pop the metal key in. That's it, it's ready. With the chain drive installed on the motor, I'm just gonna throw this washer and nut on, but I'm gonna hand tighten it for now so it can't fall out and lose that key. That's good enough. This thing, 35 kilowatts, 13,000 RPM, no problem. Can handle the high heat. I wonder what the difference in weight is. You want to measure it and see? Let's weigh these. Let's see, stock motor, about 7.18 kg. Let's see what the EBMX is. 11.28 kg, so it's a lot heavier. Now I'll take this wrench for the castle nut, put it on here with my T-wrench, and let's get this axle for the jack shaft off. I can use this to pound the axle out. I'm going to remove the bolt and nut that's holding the swing arm to the suspension. I'm gonna take this thing over to the vise and get this belt drive off. You may need to use a torch to get these to break free. I didn't need to. Now I want to take these spacers out and set them aside. Just remember that the small one goes on the belt drive side. Think 12 Nm. And I'll tighten these in an opposing fashion like I always do. Put these spacers back in, but I'm going to put a little bit of grease on them first. And the large one goes in on the small sprocket side. And the smaller one goes on the larger sprocket side. The way we did this is I have the whole swing arm supported right now by the suspension and this stand. And I have everything still lined up, even I don't have the jack shaft in. Most guys I saw when they do these, they remove the whole swing arm, but I realized I didn't need to if I could keep this fully balanced. So all I need to do is just drop this back in and pop the axle through. Pretty simple. All right, let's tighten the castle nut. The spec is 35 Nm. Time to put this motor in. It's gonna go right here, right there. So I just have them like hand tight for now because I still need to tighten the primary chain, and I want to have maybe about a 1/2 inch slack on that. You really don't want to have the chain too tight on the jack shaft because you could risk damaging the bearings, especially with a high powered motor like this EBMX. So now I'm going to put the primary chain on, and then I will tension it about a 1/2 inch slack, and then I can finally tighten all 4 motor bolts down. One cool thing about this primary chain kit is that it came with 2 chains. And one has O-rings, so it's going to be a little bit quieter. Be sure to save these O-rings. You don't want to lose those. Let's put these O-rings on this side. And I'll push this through from the back. I'll torque those up a bit later. This seems pretty good. Now I'm going to torque up all 4 motor mounts to about 20 Nm. The range is like 15 to 20. All right, it's been a few days since I last worked on this bike. Some stuff came up, but I have the rest of the day today to work on it, and I think we're going to finish it. I have a BAC 8000 on this bike, and it's actually an awesome controller. I've been using it for about a year now, but I want a little more functionality because I've gotten used to the X9000 on my E-Ride Pro. Like, there's a lot more with the throttle ramping and the power curve. There's a lot more adjustability on it. I think to get the most out of this XLB-60, I'm going to want to change to the X9000. And now I think is actually a great time to flip the bike back over because I need to make a lot of connections for the controller on the top. So I will connect to the SURRON main harness here from the X9000, and I will also connect the battery leads and the 3 phase wires. Now this is the plug for the XLB-60 motor, and this is the plug from the SURRON harness for the motor, but these are different plugs, so we can't use that. The XLB-60 came with a cable that can actually plug directly into the SURRON main wiring harness and also the X9000, and it has a separate cable that can plug directly into the XLB-60 motor. These things are so nice. Ooh. Here we got the X9000, and on the back we can see the 3 main phase wire connections. Blue, green, yellow, you can't really mess that up, and we have positive and negative for the battery connections. This is an auxiliary 12 volt connector that I won't be using, and it's nice and sealed up, so we're just gonna leave that alone. And this is the one that plugs to this cable, which will plug to the SURRON harness. And these are the ones that go up top for the display and the thumb throttle. Not too tight, just enough to get the lock washer flat. Okay, let's hook the Bluetooth up first. And just line up the arrows. And just line up the notches. And I've already run the 2-in-1 cable that came with this display, because this is the stock 2-in-1 cable that comes with the X9000, but if you upgrade from the Egg Rider to the better EBMX display, then you will have to use the one that came with it. Just leave it like that for now. Once you get all your wires tucked in behind here and in the neck of the bike, it's time to mount the controller. Now just double check, make sure there's nothing that will impede the controller mounting. I'm thinking now's a good time to actually plug the battery in for the first time. Make sure I'm not shorted anywhere before I proceed with the bash guard and tightening everything up and zip tying the wires. I don't want to really go through all that if this thing isn't working. So far so good. Now I'm going to flip the breaker on. Hopefully nothing bad happens here. Let's see if we got power. Oh. Hell yeah, man. We're definitely good. At least I know we have power to the controller. I still need to hook the chain up and do the initial setup on the X9000 and the motor. So I'm gonna button up all the wires and zip tie everything, get it all cleaned up, and I'm gonna put the bash guard on. It's a lot larger. Looks not bad, plastic. Pretty sure this bracket will mount here. So this can mount to the frame of the bike down there. Before I hook everything up and go through the app and do the configuration, I need to hook up the chain. You know, I'm glad that this build took a few days because these prickly pegs just showed up. And I'm definitely going to put them on in this video. Let's check it out. Pretty much all the work's done. Everything looks great. Can't wait to go out and test this thing. We need to use the app first and configure it. This heavy hitter primary chain drive kit actually came with 2 chains. It came with an O-ring chain, this one, and it also came with a non-O-ring chain. Now, Gritshift suggests that you use the non-O-ring chain for the best performance. I'm going to test both. The difference between the O-ring chain and the non-O-ring chain is just the O-rings will sort of seal the lubricant into the chain so it won't need as much. And the non-O-ring chain will need to be lubricated more frequently. All right, now I can go through the app and tune this motor and controller. There's my device, X9000. Now I think the first thing we're gonna do is let's update the firmware. Okay. It's going to ask you if you want to calibrate the motor. Just make sure it's on a stand. Press OK. The XLB-60 encoder is selected for the motor. And I selected EBMX high power harness. And you can see the street mode battery current limit and the race mode battery current limit. This controller will have 2 power modes that you can go back and forth between. And you can set all the different parameters for each power mode. The wheel diameter and the gear ratio will give you a correct speedo reading. But first, we need to set the throttle up. Twist the throttle when it tells you to. And it basically records the minimum voltage and the maximum voltage for the throttle range. So the motor is spinning backwards, which is okay. We just need to change it to the other direction. So now we go into here, and it's motor direction. Let's change that to clockwise and save it. And let's double check it. You need to look at the dashboard of the app, and right away you can see if it's in street mode or race mode. You just click that and it will change to race mode and back to street mode. Now it's in race mode. So all the race mode settings now will apply. Yeah, I finished the basic setup on the bike. I think it's ready to take it out and do the fine tuning on it. We should bring that speed gun and see how fast it can go with this new motor. It's hot today, man. Make sure it's in race mode. Let's go into the settings. Modes and levels. Let's just turn this all the way up. I'm gonna put this one at 15. So I got mode 1. Mode 1 is 12 kilowatt. Mode 2 is 15. And mode 3, 30 kilowatt, the max. And same. Let's max out the phase current. I think this is a good place to start. Let's do it.
It felt like the RPMs are still going up, but just slowly. It's still winding up, but there's a point where it's like, I'm in the red line, man. That's awesome though, man. This thing's wicked. Oh my God. I changed the primary chain earlier to this non-O-ring chain because I wanted to see the difference in performance. It sounds smoother, and it feels like the motor probably has less resistance on it right now. So I think that's gonna do it for this Frank and SURRON. We've got other bikes to work on now pretty soon. And I have everything done now. The motor, the controller, the battery. 30,000 watts feels pretty good, man. I mean, I think I don't need more. I could get a higher discharge battery, but I don't think I need it. So it's probably gonna do it for this Frank and SURRON. And it's gonna do it for this video. So see you guys in the next one. Peace.